do us in or to secretly take us from who we are. But I think that everybody want to be on that winner. You know, I mean, that record we used to sing years ago in church, when the saints come marching in, you know, and things, and it was singing a cappella, you know, and when they come marching in, you know, and so everybody, I think we all are looking for that one thing that can make it all right. And it's going to come like a leaf traveling at night, and you're not going to know when it's going to hit. Only God will deliver it. Because when I look at what's taking place in the world today, come on now. You see, at once I was unread young man. And as I searched deep to read, it took years to build it, but I searched deep to read. I tell you right now, I kind of got it on lockdown now, and I do a lot of searching about, you know, things and growth of nations and things. And I tell you, when you look at what the other worlds are doing, everybody want a part. So let us have that part and build and create and be creative, because that's what God wants us to do. He's going to make this thing one world. He's going to make it the way He wanted it to be. Now, your idea might not be for that to happen, but you are not alone. You understand me? He has the power to change anything, and He can deliver you when He wants to in His own time. If you believe in the word that He gives, that He give you, you see, if you do it. I'm looking at a body of strength here. The sisters are looking at this Shirley Chisholm. They remember Shirley Chisholm, the Black Caucus. Has a picture of Shirley Chisholm, and she strikes a pose in this picture, and all the women are looking, because Shirley truly, without a doubt, was a strong woman. I got some of her lectures on CD, not DVD. And I'll tell you, you know, she was the first black woman elected to Congress, and I believe she ran for president too, you know. And just the strength that Shirley had, you know, she was a strong sister too. It looked like she was tall. I never got a chance to meet her, but as you can look at the eyes of these women that looking at Shirley, and they just are smiling and unveil her picture and things, and behind it is Washington, the Capitol, and I tell you, it's just something to see how we all need that hero. We all need, see, it's okay to have it. You know, Muhammad Ali was in truth my hero. He in truth was my hero. You know, today I kidded around a little bit. I was thinking, I said, you know, could Jack Johnson beat the great Muhammad Ali? You know, and of course, you know, Jack Johnson, you know, my mother at the time and things of that nature, they remembered Jack, and I love Jack, don't get me wrong, but Muhammad Ali, I guess, you know, I kind of put him there with that SR-71 Blackbird aircraft to fly 85,000 feet. That's way up in the air, you know. So, you know, we try to do all we can and everything, and we just look for God to deliver us, and He will deliver us in His time, and if we can, you know, I'd like to wrap this up here with the commercial if we can. But you know, at this moment here, we are in the final seconds or minutes of this here, and just to see how things are healing us and how we ourselves are growing and developing. I, the Reverend Zechariah A. Jackson from the Church of What's Happening Now, and I'm out here trying to do work, and I'm trying to bring them in here, church. I'm only doing what God tell me to do and things, and I just have to wait on Him and everything. And I can give you the airways, but it's your job to make it here. I can't bring you here at this moment. Maybe one day I'll be able to fly you on an aircraft or whatever, set you up in a nice hotel or whatever, you know, as we evolve. So I guess, you know, at this moment we're like 1 minute out, and, you know, we got another minute there. And I tell you, it's just, I believe it's going to be a beautiful world when we come together. And I tell you, if anything is bringing us together more and more, is this G20 summit that's being held, because there's so many things that the world can do if we work together. We have to embody that. And I say that to anyone, and those that have the secret agenda that think they were supposed to be before someone else. Well, you think what you want. I'm going with a one world commission. Let us have one world where everybody have an interest. You know, when I was a kid, I was going to make a piece of wood and cut it in half and give each person a half of that wood. And when we come together, when my friends come together, we would put all these pieces together, make a total puzzle. And I think that's, you know, I think that God was telling me something then that this here is possible. And if we could come to one world with our raft, tie the cords together and tie the branches together, then we can float across many, many oceans. We can float across many, many seas. We can save and fish and harvest and bring everybody in. Why not have everybody having food? Why not having everybody having cars? Why not having everybody having everything? Selfishness is no more. I'm the Reverend Zachariah A. Jackson from the Church of What's Happening Now. Put down selfishness. Keep hope alive. You got it up? Okay, good. All right.
You want a page where the book is larger? Or?
Well, you know, I really want it for you more so than me because, you know, it just helps. You know what I mean? To have it, to feel, you know, when you're talking about your book. All right.
You wanted to make some quotes?
Yeah, you know, because you're right there with it. So I guess you can look at this camera as we talk.
Sure.
All right. This is the Reverend Zachariah A. Oh, you know what?
You're going to need that microphone. Man.
No, I need a timer. Oh, okay. We go. Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 10 after.
See, if I could print the cover, I could lay it right. It's all right. Store. This is bad. Oh, well, we gotta press record, don't we? I don't know if that's good.
All right, we're ready.
Okay, but don't you need to press record on that page she had us on?
So who?
She said something about pressing play or something.
I think you want. Let me see. I think you want to play now. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1. I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope that's it. That's got to be it.
Okay, sure.
Oh, let me just make sure because we go through this thing and down there we don't have a problem. Excuse me. Bob, can you see if this thing is ready to?
Hold on. Did you send Tom a copy of that email?
Yes.
All right.
And him and Denise discussed it.
Okay. Is this thing ready to?
All you have to do is push record.
Oh, okay. Where's
Which
record?
is here.
Can you see it?
That's
Right here. She said this is record. Press that button.
that.
Yep.
Go.
That's right.
All right. There we go. To be started out now. This is the Reverend Zachariah A. Jackson from the Church of What's Happening Now in Town Talker Talk Show, Plainfield, New Jersey, Harvest Radio, 1070 AM, harvestradio.net. I will be yielding my sermon again this week. As you know, last week we yielded the sermon to a young lady that's in Scotch Plains that's doing work in the community as of taking in homeless veterans. And we have so much respect for her and her work and her mission, you know, and that's what we do in the Church of What's Happening Now in Town Talk Show. And we try to go into the community and bring people in, get their story, and, you know, so it's so important today in a time of healing. As you see the other day, President Barack Obama and his wife Michelle are in England, and to see the idea, I mean, just to feel what the Queen must be thinking, you know, as she embraced them and hugged Michelle like she's never hugged anyone before, they say, you know, and they shook their hands without gloves and stuff, you know, and just you know, I'm kind of a student of history, and I just wonder what's going through her mind, because, you know, her family has been in power for centuries, you know, back like the 10th or 8th century, and to see the minority mind change and evolve as we approach a world of freedom, because whenever mankind come together, you know, and have rational decisions, and, you know, and put things in order, that we are coming closer to God, you know, because, you know, we don't need one world order, you know. People tried that back in the 30s, you know, and 40s, with Adolf Hitler. There's one world power and things, and it hurt the world. So we're healing in things of that nature. We're healing. Russia is there, and I believe that if all the nations come together as God have planned, then there will be no hunger on earth, you know, that we will be able to feed the whole world, because that's what it's all about anyway, you know. People talk about diamonds and gold and things of that nature, and I know that we all go crazy over the diamonds and everything, but I was raised so impoverished, I called diamonds nothing but glass. But, you know, there's no, you know, real value to it unless you put it to it yourself. The real value is mankind. You understand? If I fell in a hole, you know, some person had diamond and gold, and I could have me 2 or 3 chickens down there. Well, I'm gonna preserve them chickens, because that's gonna give me, you know. So we have to get an understanding of where we at. I believe that one world commission, where all world can come together, all the worlds can come together, and can decide on the future. I'll take a chance with that than just one nation making a decision, you know. And if we work hard, everybody have a stake, and we can end poverty, we can end hunger and things overnight, you know. And God is having a way with us, and He's showing us how to get there. But today we have a young lady on today that wrote a book, and I'm going to let her introduce herself and things.
Thank you. Hello, I am Sonia Ward, and I am the author of Fear is Not My Boss. This book is an empowerment manual and absolutely a timely companion to inspire and to empower and to give all hope beyond hope. At this time, yes, we are going through so much in the world. People are in trouble financially, families are falling apart, there's spiritual brokenness and all kinds of things coming against our stability and against our contentment in life. But my personal belief is that at this time, we're going to be forced to tap into the gifts that have been God-given. You know, our jobs are being threatened, but again, we have gifts and areas in our life that we can build and begin to use to stand strong and stay focused. One of the biggest problems today is the spirit of fear. Fear can absolutely deceive you. It can distort your vision. It can rob you of your ability to move forward. It can keep you in bondage. It can isolate you and just tear your life apart. And basically, if you're not focused and you don't understand who you are because of whose you are, if you don't have a clue about who you were called to be and created to be, you will fall victim or prey to the spirit of fear. Fear won't have to creep in. It'll just walk right in boldly, because it can take advantage of your whole life, your situation, and derail your purpose. Well, I come to speak against the spirit of fear. I come to tell you that you can have hope beyond hope, and that faith, just faith of a mustard seed, is all you need to move forward. I offer you this book. It's an interactive read. Again, it's an empowerment manual and companion that you can use to move beyond the spirit of fear, to remove the obstacles that come to hinder and destroy your destiny's path. You can absolutely walk forward in boldness, and you can gain the authority that you need to be who you were called to be and who you were purposed to be. So I speak against fear once again, and I assure you and I promise you that you can be victorious and you can triumph over any obstacle that is thrown in your path. If it's your relationship, if it's your job, if it's spiritual brokenness, whatever it is, for every problem there's a solution. So the book is called Fear is Not My Boss. You can get that book from Barnes & Noble, from Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, or please visit my website, www.mylifechannels.com. Find out more about the book. Thank you for having me.
Let me ask you this here, Sonia. what inspired you to put the book out, to write this book, and what was it? What was the gist of giving you the inspiration and things?
Let me explain. The book is divided into four parts. It chronicles events in my life that I call storms. And storms are something that we are all going to endure. God promised that He would be with us through the storm, but He never said that there wouldn't be a storm. And I respect that, sometimes struggle is His will, and sometimes those storms are also His will. So I began to share some of my own life experiences and storms, as I would call them, so that the reader could relate to it, possibly see themselves in that experience or share an experience similar or different, to understand that it's really about your posture through the storm. It's really about how you stand strong and you trust God and you believe and know that if you stay focused, you can get through the storm. And behind the storm, the sun is going to shine. So I wrote this book to share these storms, to strengthen others. And then beyond that, I moved into explaining the spirit of fear. And just how it can creep in small doses,
Sure.
which aren't the obvious. It's the small foxes that destroy the vine.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
So fear can come in small packages, and it can come in the big ones. And the bigger ones are easier to target and easier to concentrate and focus on rebuking and destroying and getting out of your destiny's path. But the ones that you can't see, that's been planted along the way, the ones that you've allowed to grow from the time that you were a child, perhaps, or from your younger adult years, at any point in time, once those seeds are deposited, they can, here it is. We look at life as a garden. You're growing flowers, you're growing life forces, you're growing plants, and all of your gifts are in that garden. But if that garden is overwhelmed and consumed with weeds, you begin to kill the life out of your dreams.
So we have to learn how to, because the poison ivy is going to be there.
Absolutely.
The muddy water is going to be there, and we learning how to fill them in. Is that what you're saying with your book, that you're able to fill in something? And how can we, you hear the storm of people all the time. Everybody come with a storm years later. Is there any way with your book that we can take a person young and help them around the storm, where they don't have to go through that storm?
Absolutely.
And can you tell us how?
Well, absolutely. The book, again, shares those storms and those experiences, but then it goes beyond the storms, and it teaches faith, and it increases faith, and it helps you to understand that, that faith is real, and that it works, and that without it, it's impossible to please God. And see, it's one thing to talk it, and it's a whole other thing to walk it.
Right.
And the problem here today is that many people are sitting in service, and they're receiving the word, but they're not applying the word.
I often say that, there's two levels of thought. There's an emotional level.
Absolutely.
And then there's an intellectual level.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a person say, I'm going to run up that hill today to lose weight. So that I'm running up the hill 10 times a day. He may do it the first 10, Mm-hmm. But the more intellectual guy would say, hey, I'm going to run up that hill once a day, for 7 months. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then he get the real thing, because he evolved into it. Is your book a book that help a person from, let's say, from dough to shape, where they would actually evolve, and how do your book do that?
Absolutely. I want to suggest and share that even in the things of God, it's really important that we have that one-on-one relationship. And this book absolutely speaks about, encourages, and supports that one-on-one relationship. Knowing God for yourself, experiencing for yourself, having an intimate relationship with your Creator, so that beyond a high, and what I call a religious high is when you go to church and you have a euphoric experience, and then when you come down, you're in trouble again. You see, you got to move beyond the euphoria, you see. Mm-hmm. You have got to get spiritually grounded, experience a true relationship, so that you can apply the truth to your life. How can it be the truth if you don't believe it for yourself? You understand what I'm saying? It's time, forgive me, for people to get off the religious pipe and know God for themselves. No more highs, but real experience, real situations.
Yeah, and I hear you, and I feel where you're coming from. I understand it from a religious point. But Pharaoh out there has a lot to do with the shaping of those that come to church.
Absolutely.
Pharaoh have, done many things to people, and church has only been the only sanctuary in which that we've had to try to heal.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Pharaoh, the devil, Lucifer, or whatever you want to call him, is right around that corner.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, how can your book help to heal? Because I hear what you're saying about the church thing. I understand it, how people come to church and they do this, that, and other, and then they go outside. But a lot of things have been dealt them by outside forces.
Yeah.
More so than what has been dealt to them by the church.
Right.
The church is a place where they come, where they are able to free themselves,
Yes.
but then they got to go back to it.
Absolutely.
What's been dealt to them from the outside, that no good, low life creatures out there have laid some poison in their mind, and that poison has grown and grown over time. How can your book heal from the ills of Pharaoh?
We're called to follow the man of God as he follows God. So in following and sitting under the word of God and being trained and taught beyond, the scheduled, structured, we've got to be able to embrace this thing in our own time.
Sure.
And so my book and books like my book, and first and foremost, the Holy Bible, it says study to show yourself approved.
Yes.
You've got to seek to find God. You understand? You've got to go after the things of God and ask of him. If you ask God for anything, he'll give it to you.
Sure.
So long as it's his will.
Sure.
So we've got to ask God to teach us, to show us the way, to guide us. Let his word be a lamp to our feet and a light to our path. So in all of our getting, we need to go out, get knowledge, we need to get understanding, we need to get wisdom. But absolutely, the man of God that we follow in church, beyond just teaching us, he's studying, he's
Sure.
laying on his face, he's going before God on our behalf.
Sure.
We've got to do the same thing. We've got to model after him, not only in church but in our spare time. So during that time, we're growing, we're gaining understanding, and we're developing that intimate relationship with God, so that when we can't pick up the phone and get someone that we need, we
Sure.
can call on God directly.
I heard Sarah Otterbach, you ever Redeemed Fellowship upstate New York in Nanuet. I was there about, I guess, maybe 6 years ago, and her husband, I can't think of his name, God rest his soul at this time, he said this here in a sermon. He said, everybody else is coming out the closet, so why don't you? Meaning the Christians, you need to come out the closet, let people know where you're at and what you stand for, and that right there will help you balance.
Yes, absolutely.
Because the forces are definitely against you. There's always something that's trying to pull you, pull you down or pull you into their path and everything. Is your book a good read for a young family that's trying to start or things of that nature?
I hear where you're coming from. Absolutely. I think this book is something that will be youthful for young adults, teens, both men and women. The book is biblically based. It's off of